I go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Octane Hour with Brinkofspeed and Darren. Tonight, we do not have Mark with us. He's actually got a lot of stuff he's getting together. I don't know, everything, but we're going to Ron Fellows tomorrow, so he was not able to make it for tonight. But we do have a special guest, as you've seen in the title and the thumbnail. Jesse Iwuji is going to join us because he set a new world record in his C8 Z06 over the weekend. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to show you the world record run, and he's going to answer all of our questions and your questions. So we'll bring him on here in a minute. Let me do this real quick. Okay. I can get out of this and go back. Let's go ahead and say hello to everybody. Looks like we got a...
Yeah, Everjeff, Doug Hooks, Scott White, normal players.
Yep. Lance, Eric O, Joe, Frank Corvette. Oh, Track Speed 815. I don't think I've seen him on here. Scott White, Kevin Horan, Doug Hooks, Elijah Prasad, Caleb. We got Andrew from Great White North Corvette. We got New Angle Photo and Video, Larry Anthony. Welcome, everyone. Brian Sanders, General Lee, Vet Sweetness. You guys are all popping on. Jamie.
Yeah.
I love it. So exciting night. But real quick before we get Jesse on, he'll pop on here in a second.
I'm in there.
Got to go over the new giveaway. So let's go to my desktop, desk cam, and get this pulled up. And you guys know the drill. We've got this awesome giveaway. If you're new on the stream, you'll be seeing this. So ACS Composite is going to sponsor for a C7 the rear diffuser fins. R1 Concepts going to sponsor a brake kit, and Forged Light Wheels is going to sponsor a new set of wheels. If you own a C8, ACS Composite is sponsoring the side rockers from the Z06, Forged Light Wheels, the wheels for a C8, and R1 Concepts, the brakes. If you've seen my car, you'll see the Forged Light Wheels and the Z06 rockers. If you've seen Darren's car, you'll see the Forged Light Wheels and the brakes. So you get to see it all. And the way that you enter are these key tags. You go to thebrinkofspeed.com, which is what I'm on right now. Key tags are $9.99. You get $1 per, or one entry per dollar. If you buy 2 key tags, you actually get a bonus 5 entries for spending $20 on 2 key tags. Now, if you are, let me show these again because I know, there we go. These are the key tags. They're kind of upside down. There we go. If you are on and you want to do a super chat, super sticker, or super thanks, or a Venmo, which I'll pull up the Venmo real quick, those are dollar for dollar as well going towards the giveaway. And the giveaway is worth $4,500. So,
actually, yeah, it is worth $4,500. I was say because the price of the wheels went up. FYI.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And there's going to be a bunch of people. I know of 3 people that ordered their wheels, I guess it's back in December, that just got them this week, including Derek. Derek got his wheels today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he drove back from San Antonio just to get his wheels.
Something's going. Let me figure out what's going on here. Okay. All right. Jesse says he's in. So we'll go. Yep, I see him.
Okay. Should put our headphones
We're going to, yeah, we'll bring him in, but I want to go over a couple more things. So now we have to wear headphones, guys. Let's go ahead and bring him on the screen. There we go. And all right, say hello, Jesse.
What's up? How's it going?
All right, there we go. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. All right, I've got just a couple more things to go over. We are doing a weekly giveaway with a shirt. If you want to do the BO or the Thumbs Up Squad shirt.
Well, let's do Jesse's favorite shirt. He seems to wear it everywhere he goes.
That'll work.
Yeah, let's use that one.
And let us know if you guys can hear Jesse okay. Let's make sure we're seeing this. Oh, we got to go back to my cam so they can see this.
That's okay.
No, you got it. It's on. All right, so there is the BOS
Size large.
Size large. We'll be giving that away at the end of the show. The last two videos are my new issue with my C8 Corvette. Obviously, it got resolved the same day, but I had a little bit of an issue. Check that out on the links in the description. And then lowering my C8 is also in the links in the description. And last but not least, we're going to show Mr. Elijah's new exhaust that he got from Corsa, right?
Corsa, yeah.
Okay. So he did something just like Darren and polished his beautiful exhaust. And now look at that. That thing is shiny, shiny.
It looks awesome.
It is. It's looking great. So congratulations, Elijah. That exhaust looks amazing. You guys can do the same thing. If you order aftermarket exhausts, just watch our video and learn how to polish it, and it looks amazing. All right. So we're going to go ahead and bring Jesse back up. Now, I just want to make sure everybody can see him.
Hola.
Yeah, Doug Hook said, howdy, Jesse. Okay, so you guys are seeing him. That's great.
I'm in the comments right now. I'm commenting, talking to people. So if you see my fingers in front of the camera like this, it's all right, guys.
So, Jesse, I just wanted to, first off, just briefly have you tell us your story and how you became a professional race car driver for NASCAR.
Yeah. So story is definitely pretty interesting, different than a lot of the other drivers. For me, originally from Dallas, Texas, grew up there. Football was my thing. Played football all through middle school and high school. And as I got better and better and better at football, I had this goal to go off to college and play college football. So I decided that I was going to put all my efforts into that to make that happen. Once I got to my senior year, I started getting recruited by a few schools. One of those schools was a Naval Academy. I looked at it as a really good opportunity to go to a great school, get a great education, be able to play football for a great team, and then when I graduate, be able to serve in the United States Navy as an officer. So I took that opportunity. I took their offer, went to Naval Academy from 2006 to 2010, played football there all 4 years, ended up, and also ran track as well. Ended up graduating in 2010 and became a surface warfare officer in the Navy. And as a SWO, I was on the ships. So I went on 2 different deployments. I was on a couple different ships, went over to the Arabian Gulf twice, spent about 15 months of my life out there. And after that, I came back and got stationed in Monterey, California, and I was on shore duty there. And prior to me getting to Monterey, like when I would have some off time in between my deployments, I had a C6 Z06, which I still have that same C6 Z06 today. But I used to daily drive it, but then I started tracking it as well. And I was taking it to these road course tracks in Southern California on my free weekends. I was doing these open track days, getting better and better and better. I had a Challenger 2 at the time, SRT8, that was fully built, 900 wheel, crazy car. Used to drag race with that thing all the time. And finally, one day I was just in January of 2014, and I just had this crazy vision of myself that continued to come to me over and over and over. And that vision was seeing myself become a professional race car driver. So I was like, you know what, if I keep seeing this vision, that means that I can achieve it in the future if I just put my efforts into it, just like anything else I've done in life. You just put your effort into it, you have full on faith, and you continue to grind every day, no matter what happens, you can actually achieve it. So what I ended up doing was starting to do some research on racing, how to get into racing, how to start racing for teams, how to work your way up the ranks, what it takes, the resources, all that stuff. And I started putting together each piece of that puzzle so that I could get myself into racing. One of the toughest pieces to put together was the funding side. Racing is not free, and racing is not cheap. For anybody else, for everybody out there who just thinks that you get really good and someone just picks you up. That's just false. That's like maybe 50, 60 years ago that was the truth, but not anymore. Nowadays, it's like who has money, and that's basically gives you your best opportunity right there, right? So I had to figure out, okay, how to even find the money. Since I was a naval officer, I only made so much money, so I had to find a way to make extra money. And some people would say, oh, just go get a sponsor, like it's that easy. It's really difficult to go convince someone to give you money to go race. No one wants to fund anyone's dreams. People want to fund things, they find a way to give them money back. So what I had to do was build my brand, build my branding so that I could give the right ROI to potential sponsors. But while I was doing that, I still needed to race. So I started my own small business on the side. And that small business was hosting drag racing events in Southern California, which I still put on today. Every year I put on 3 or more events. And those first few years, those events, the profits I made from it is what I basically used to catapult myself into racing. So I used that money to basically pay for whatever my racing expenses were. I used that money to help get myself additional training. I bought a racing simulator so I could train at home. I did all that stuff. And as I continue to just figure out ways to problem solve throughout this journey, that's what allowed me to basically go from a guy who was just track day racing, just doing, not even track day racing, track days, to somebody who was racing wheel to wheel and then work my way up the ranks. And I decided that NASCAR was a route that I wanted to go after because I felt there was the most opportunity there. Ended up being a good idea. And over the years, I slowly worked my way up the ranks. NASCAR Xfinity Series, and actually here in a few days, I'm racing at Daytona in the number 34 Chevrolet at Daytona International Speedway for my own team that I have now.
That's awesome, man. That's such an amazing story, and thank you for sharing that with us. I'm sure the folks on here are happy to hear what you've done, and thank you for your service as well. We really appreciate that too.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Thank you.
So I've got a few questions for you. I'm sure Darren will want to ask you some questions, and then obviously they're going to have questions for you too. It sounds like you've been drag racing for how long now? About 10 years or?
Yeah, so first time I ever drag raced was at Capitol Raceway, actually in Maryland, while I was at the Naval Academy. I think it was my junior or senior year at the academy. I had a Chrysler 300. It was a V6, made like no horsepower, and I took it to the drag strip just to get on the track. And I think it was a 15.9 second car, and I was so happy when I hit 15.9 because forever I was like a 16.1, 16.2, 16.0, and I hit 15.9. I was like, yes. After I graduated from the academy, I bought the Challenger. Obviously, that was way faster. My first passes with that was like 13s. And then from there, I was like, I got to get faster than 13s. I had the goals of getting into the 10s. So I built the car until I could get into the 10s. Eventually been to a point where really it was a 9-second car, but I was running it in the half mile and the mile and all that stuff. I actually went 200.9 in the 1 mile with that big brick of a car. And that car was not a car that I trailered. I literally drove 3 hours to the event. Went 199, 200, 199, and then drove 3 hours back. Never changed tires, never pulled anything off, didn't do anything, just straight up did that. Now, the car was making 850 wheel on E85, but it was so cool that you could drive a car like that there, run 200 miles per hour in 1 mile, which is not easy at all, and then bring it home. To put it in perspective, my C8 Z06, if I ran it in the 1 mile, would probably... I'd have to do the math on what it would run, but it'd probably be somewhere in the 170 something, maybe 180, but 170 something range.
That's incredible, man. So what year was that?
That was in 2013.
13, okay. So
before Hellcats, by the way. This wasn't a Hellcat car.
Oh yeah.
We're building cars to be like what we want Chrysler and Mopar and all of them to build. We built the Hellcats before Hellcats were actually a thing.
Right. Yeah, that's incredible, man. So why did you choose to use your Z06 as a drag car and not a road course car?
This current Z06, the C8 Z06?
Mm-hmm.
So I will be road coursing it. I plan on doing a lot of stuff with it, but the car is an all-around car, right? I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, oh, the C8 Z06 was meant to be on a road course. No, it was meant to be on a track, period. They wouldn't have put launch control in there, especially a variable launch control where you can change all the different kind of RPMs from 3,500 all the way up to 5,000 RPM. They wouldn't have put a launch control in there where you can change the slip percentage
Right.
of the transmission from 5% all the way up to 15%. They wouldn't have put all that in there if they didn't want the car to perform on a drag strip as well. So the car is a very worthy drag car, just as it is a very worthy road course car. And we proved it, the other day when I went 10.4 at 134 mile per hour.
Yeah, man. And we're going to show that. Actually, while we're talking, we're going to go ahead and show that real quick so you guys can see this. I've got it pulled up right to the exact spot. Hopefully it's working. Yeah.
That felt like my best launch so far of the day.
So let me go to the actual, I thought I had it pulled up where here we go. Let's go to this. This is the actual real footage of the launch and the time. There you go. 10:44 at 134 miles an hour. Amazing. All right, let's get back to...
That day, I made 11 passes. And of all the 11 passes, if I really wanted to, I could have actually went 10.4 every single pass. But I was trying out different launch control settings for every single run. So I was, I tried one thing, didn't work as well, tried one thing, and went in a good direction. I just kept on trying different things, varying my launch RPM, varying my slip percentage, just trying to figure out what worked best. At the end of the day, the hardest launch possible is 5,000 RPM with 5% slip. That is your hardest launch. But if the track won't take it, then it won't work. Because there was one point in the day I tried that, and I just slipped out of the hole and went 10.7. And then later, when the track got re-prepped a little bit better, then I tried it again and all of a sudden went 10.4. It's all depending on how the track is. Like, some people were asking me what my settings were, and I'm like, I could tell you what I use for that particular run, but it might not work for your track because it just depends on what the track prep is. You got to figure out what combination for the launch control is going to work for your particular day at your particular track with your particular tire that you're using. And it's not going to be the same for everybody. It's not just this, hey, use this setting and you're going to go set the record. Not true. You literally could run slower than I did if you used the exact same settings I used.
And speaking of tire, everybody's wanting to know what tire you did use.
Yeah, so tire, I used a Mickey Thompson, and I know LMR, when they went 10.3, they have exhaust mods on their car. So they put Sport Cats on their car. They showed the dyno. They gained 17 horsepower with it. My car has 0 mods, no exhaust mods, no nothing. It just basically has a tire. For them, they went from a 21-inch wheel down to a 19-inch, which is actually helpful weight-wise, and also just for the tire diameter. The smaller you go, basically what ends up happening is you are able to, it helps you with your ET. So for me, I ran a 20-inch wheel with Mickey Thompson's. They ran a 19-inch wheel, but they ran with Toyos, which don't hook as well as the Mickey Thompson, but they ran on a way colder day, better DA, and also I believe their track was prepped really well because you wouldn't be able to run a 10.35 without a good prep track. So our track, when I ran, was decently prepped, but it, there was a lot of dragsters out there running and a lot of stuff. So like the track was good and then it would go away, and then they re-prep it and it was good, then it would go away. So you had to find the right time to go run. Because like I said, the settings I used on my best run earlier that day was not good. Like I was like, it just didn't work.
Sure. No, I understand. And you were telling me earlier that with the Mickey Thompson, it really crinkles quite a bit for you to give you an even better, shove off the line.
Yeah, so when you're looking at different tires and stuff, a lot of people were asking me, hey, I know you ran on these Mickey Thompsons, but a true bone stock is on the street tire. Yeah, but like, would you go to Usain Bolt and be like, hey, I know you have the world record in the 100 meter in your track spikes, but really it's not the world record unless you run it in running shoes? No, you would never say that. You
Right.
prep yourself for the event that you're going to, right? So for a drag strip, you need a proper drag radial. Street tires just aren't, I mean, honestly, who cares about street tire on a
Yeah.
drag strip record? Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's actually more dangerous to do that, and it hurts the track, and everybody at the track gets pissed at you when you run street tires. So it's just better just to run what you're supposed to run, which is a drag radial. So anyways, with the drag radial, what it helps you do is the taller the tire is, it affects your mile per hour. Shorter it is, affects your mile per hour. Shorter tires typically will help you with your ET. Taller tire doesn't necessarily help you with your ET, but helps you with your mile per hour. And also, taller tire typically will have more room for it to kind of crinkle when you're launching, so that it can basically give you a little bit, basically make your rear a little bit softer, right? If your tire is too short, then the sidewalls are going to be too stiff. If they're too stiff, then it makes it to where your car won't hook as well as
Right.
it could with the tire that basically allows you to use it as an extra spring. And that's the thing that people don't know sometimes with tires, is a tire is a spring as well. Like, I know you got your coilovers and your springs, all that stuff, your normal suspension stuff, but the tire actually has a spring rate as well. And depending on how tall it is, how thick it is, the sidewall height, all that stuff, all these different things play in the factor. So when you watch dragsters launch and you slow it down, you see them crinkling. That
yeah.
crinkle and that compression of the tire acts as a basically an additional spring to help you launch out of the hole even better.
Nice. Thank you for that excellent explanation. So how far are you going to go with the Z06? Are you wanting to build it out at all? Like, do performance mods? Or are you pretty much going to keep it stock?
Yeah, so eventually I want to do some performance mods. Honestly, nothing too crazy. I'm not going to do the whole like twin turbo route or anything like that. Honestly, just bolt on stuff. Eventually I want to do some exhaust mods to it. Eventually, I just want to figure out a way to maximize the car without going overboard. I have a C7 Z06 that is fully built front to back. Once it comes out of the shop, it's going to be capable of 1200 wheel. That's like it's an 8-second car all day long. I have a R32 GTR that's fully built. That car is actually about as fast as my C8 Z06. And then C6 that was for drifting. So on the built cars, what you run into sometimes is reliability, right? You can sometimes have issues and all that stuff. And I just love this car so much. I'm not trying to jump into issues. Like, this car needs to work all the time. So mods, I do need to be very bolt-on, simple, like the normal average person could put on themselves type deals, besides like exhaust and stuff. But like, basically exhaust, and if they figure out something with maybe intakes or whatever, I don't know. But like, I'm just going to keep it very basic. I'm not looking to make 1,000,000 horsepower with the car. If I could eventually get it to a point where it's a very consistent 9-second, I'd be super, super pumped and happy.
Awesome. Doug Hook wants to know what tire pressure you ran.
Yeah. So tire pressure is going to vary. Once again, what information I'm giving you right now is not the optimal for your, like, whoever's vehicle at that track. That you have to figure out what works for you that day. So for me, what worked for me that particular day at that particular track with that particular track prep was I used 15 PSI to start, then I used 16. 15 and 16 did get me some 10.4 runs. I believe half of my 10.4 runs were 15, 16 pounds of pressure. My quickest run, though, was when I bumped it back up to 18 pounds because my mile per hour was starting to suck. At 15, 16 PSI, I couldn't get better than like 129, I think, mile per hour.
Oh, wow.
Once I bumped it up to 18 PSI, all of a sudden I was 132, and then all of a sudden I had a 134. So that's what I'm saying. The height of the tire, the height of the tire increases with more air pressure. So if you air it down to 15 PSI, you are going to hurt your mile per hour, but you're going to get the car to hook better on the initial launch. The only thing is, once you start getting down the track, you might have too much roll resistance. So you got to find out what's going to work best. You really want the most air pressure possible that's not going to slip out of the hole. That's going to be your optimal settings for your car. But 18 PSI is, like, for a drag radial, is a good place to start. And then you'll most likely probably not want to need to go up. You'll probably, if you want, maybe go down a pound or two maximum. But really, 18 PSI is a good place to start.
Okay, so you pretty much already answered this question. You've already told what cars you own, but what is your favorite one to take to the drag strip?
Well, the C8Z right now because I love the
Cool.
way it sounds and it's cool driving it. Nobody else has been going to drag strip enough with it, so I was like,
Sure.
cool. But honestly, the C7 Z06 is a freaking monster. Like put it this way, my C8 Z06, my 60 foot was 155 was my best. My best ET I actually did 156, but my best 60 foot overall that day was 155, and that feels like a rocket right coming out of the hole. My C7 Z06, the last time I was at the track with like that car is super optimized, but with 625 wheel on that car, because I didn't have my fuel system in or anything like that. I just was running kind of like a fully built car with no fuel. I did
Right.
a 137 60 foot.
Holy cow.
Like, I mean, that thing, like if I had skinnies up front, it would have picked both wheels off the ground coming out of the hole. That's how crazy that thing is. 15-inch conversion on the rear. It's a nutty car.
Yeah, I was at the track this weekend myself at a drag strip, and I saw a C7Z06 running some really quick times, and I asked the guy what he did, and I mean, there wasn't much done to it, but it just blew
Yeah.
my mind how fast that thing was, and he had a drag radial on it too, so
Yeah.
they're
C7Z
amazing.
is a pretty quick car. I mean,
Yeah.
bolt-ons on it. I mean, the funny thing is I've run my C7Z bone stock, and when it was bone stock, it did 11.1 in a quarter mile. So it's crazy to see that 11.1 and now this 10.44.
Yeah.
Now the tire I had on the 11.1 was too tall. If I had the right tire, I probably would have honestly ran like a 10.9 or so,
Yeah.
maybe a 10.8, because I saw somebody with the proper tire, bone stock, go 10.8. But C7Z06 still no joke. I know somebody just asked if I ran an auto or if I used the shift settings or use a manual shift. I ran an auto. If you use a manual shift, you won't be super consistent, right?
Right.
You're not gonna be able to shift right at 8,500 RPM every single time. You're probably gonna short shift to 100 RPM or 200 RPM on accident. So, you might as well let the car shift and do what it's taught and programmed to do.
Yeah, I agree, man. Okay, I have, I think, just one last question for you, and that is, what is next for your Z06?
Yeah, so next for the Z06, like modification wise,
Just overall,
or just
general,
next thing I'm
like,
doing with it.
yep.
Yeah, well, I want to still go. I'm gonna still go to drag strip multiple times this year. I
Okay.
plan on going at least once every month or so. Whether
Nice.
it's eighth mile, quarter mile, you name it. The quarter miles, it's like 3 hours away from me. So like that's a
Mm.
3 hour drive all the way there, drag race all day, 3 hour drive. And I got to find someone to carry my wheels and tires to the track for me, right? So that, I have to tie up somebody and what they're doing to get it
Yeah,
up
yeah.
there. But next things I'm gonna do with that, I want to definitely take it to the road course for sure. I need to get better tires on it than the Pilot Sport 4S's or whatever. They're not really a great tire. They work. You can
Right.
make them work, but the car has a bit too much understeer, I think, for them. So I think really what to do is just get a set of wheels, which we have some custom ones coming in, and throw on a good road race tire and run with it. Because once again, street tires suck. I'm not a street tire fan.
Yeah, and the Cup 2Rs are very expensive. I think they're like a couple $1,000 or more than that. I think they're like three
Yeah,
thousand
there's
dollars
no
for a set.
Yeah, no, well, that's like too much. There's good, solid, sticky tires that you can use
Yeah,
that work well, that will last, and cost, I don't know, $200 a tire.
sure, sure. Okay, well, I think maybe we should go to the comments here and see if there's anything else that we can get from the comments. I know Jesse's on a time constraint, so we wanted to get to him right away, but do you have some
I do, because I don't
questions there?
think Jesse talked about it. I want to hear about how you got into drifting and how we get to see you drift more in the near future. What do you got planned with that?
Perfect.
Yeah, on the drifting side, I post most of my drifting stuff on my Instagram. So anybody who wants to follow me on Instagram, just look up my name, but you can see it somewhere here. Jesse Iwuji. I'll say hi in the chat for everybody to see. But
There you go.
follow that name on Instagram right there. Also follow my YouTube as well. Subscribe, all that stuff. So most of my stuff to Instagram. I'm posting all of my C8Z stuff, a lot of it to YouTube as well. So a mix between Facebook, Instagram, all that, YouTube. So just follow me on all the channels. You'll see all the stuff I'm doing. But on the drifting side, I got into it back in 2019. One of my friends, he used to drift in Formula D. He's Australian, and he opened up this little drift school in Texas. And I decided to go to it so I could learn how to drift. He taught me 3 days how to drift. And then from there, I converted my C8 Z06 to my drift car. And all I had to do was throw a hydraulic e-brake on it, throw an angle kit up front so that I could have more steering angle, and then coilovers. And that was about it. Oh, yeah. And then yeah, that's about it. Yeah. And then ran that like that, and the car has been great. I got 219,000 miles on my C8 Z06, and it's still rocking. Still the same original bottom end. Never rebuilt the bottom end, never refreshed the bottom end. The bottom end has 219,000 miles on it, and I rip on it every 2 weeks. I go to the track, or go to the drift track.
Wow.
Do you think, Jesse, the drifting has any carryover to any of your other style of driving? Do you feel like that's helped you become a better driver, just feeling more comfortable throwing the car around?
Yeah, it helps a lot. So, being able to control a car in a slide is one of the best arts anyone could ever know. Like, I highly suggest anyone, if you get an opportunity to do any kind of drifting at all, or go to any kind of drift school or anything like that, do it. Being able to control a car in a slide is an art. Every car enthusiast should learn how to do it because it can save your life one day. Also, it's just a nice, cool skill to know. I mean, like, who doesn't like being able to get a car around a corner sideways in a very controlled fashion?
And I've seen on NASCAR, I've never watched you race, but I'm going to start watching you race this year. But I've seen on NASCAR plenty of guys coming out of the corner, turn 4 or whatever, and they get the car sideways, and some of them are able to save it and some of them aren't. And a lot of times the announcers are like, well, this guy was a dirt track racer, so he saved it because he's used to doing that. And then this guy, whatever. But I'm sure you have saved it a lot of times just because of how good of a drifter you are.
I saved one. There's one time I didn't save it in a truck, and I creamed the wall pretty good. And there's one time last year at Vegas, same track, same corner, I saved it. Got sideways coming out of turn 4, and it was all full lock sideways, and I saved it and kept it going, downshifted to third, and kept going.
That's
Drifting
awesome,
teaches
man.
you a lot. Drifting teaches you to be able to use your left foot, your right hand, your left hand, everything at once, multiple times, doing different things. I mean, I'm drifting sometimes, and I just sometimes surprise myself on what I'm doing, because you're going into the corner entry, you clutch in. As you're clutching in, you pull the hydraulic e-brake, you lift off the clutch, lift off of that, gas with your right foot, then use your left foot to the brake to modulate the brake, to modulate kind of angle that you have. And then while you're doing that, you might have to go pull the e-brake one more time. So now you pull your left foot off the brake, put it back on the clutch, clutch in, pull the e-brake, use the gas, boom, throttle, and then maybe you have the clutch kick, so clutch in, gas off the clutch, boom, you're doing that, and then you're going back. It's just all this stuff happening in one drift. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's incredible, man.
I think we're probably thinking the same thing. How soon can we get down to that drifting school in San Antonio?
Exactly. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for explaining all this. I don't know how much time you have left, but whenever you need to go, just let us know.
Jesse, have you had any issues with your Z06 at all, the new one? Any issue? Because you've got quite a few miles on it.
Yeah, I got I'm like somewhere between 6,500 and 7,000 miles on it right now. I'm like probably the second or third highest mileage guy. But no issues. No, I haven't had any issues. One thing happened one time. I was at the 8th mile, but I was like hot lapping it. And for whatever reason, one of my runs, like, it got up to like 4,000 or 5,000 RPM in like second or third gear, and then just wouldn't go further. It just stayed there. It was like, and that was it. And it just basically was like in the limp mode. I was like, that was weird. I pulled off, turned it off, and then I was like, I'm gonna make another run, because that was kind of weird. And I went back to make another run, and it was fine. Haven't had that issue since. It was like one time. Besides that, nothing else. I take care of the car, right? When I did the break-in, the first 500 miles, I did not like get on the car hard at all. After the 500 mile point, I did a lot of not a lot, but a little bit of like part throttle getting on it, where, maybe rev it out to 6,000 RPM or something, but like wasn't ever wide open throttle. And then once I got to past 1,500 RPM, then that's when I started ripping on it. Never used launch control until, I think the first time I used launch control is like after, I don't even know, like 2,000 plus miles or so is the first time I used launch control. So I definitely took care of it those first 1,500 plus miles before I started getting on it harder.
Have you done an oil change yet?
Yeah, I did the oil change. So anybody getting this car, I highly, highly suggest do not wait until the oil change point to go start talking to a dealership about it. I would highly suggest around 4,000, 4,500 miles, whatever, maybe close 5,000, maybe like 5,000 miles or so. I would highly suggest going to a dealership and be like, hey, do you have the oil for my car? Do you have the DCT filter? Do you have the oil filter?
Right.
Do you have all that stuff? And have them check, because 99.9% of the time, they will not have it for this car. It's too new. So then they got to go order it, and it's going to take weeks for them to get it. So the first time I went for my oil change, I went early, just like I mentioned, and it took like a week or two before I could actually get the oil change because they didn't have anything.
Wow.
And they couldn't even get it. And they actually had to go to their alternate oil for the car. They couldn't even use the primary oil because it wasn't going to get here until like weeks and weeks later. And I was like, I don't have time. I'm going to hit my 7,500 or 7,000 mile point like before then. So yeah, I highly suggest anyone get in the car, go early so they can start ordering this stuff, or else you will be parked waiting on oil change for weeks.
That's a really good thing that you just said there, because I mean, I know even with the C8, there's still parts that your local Chevy dealer has to order, and sometimes it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get them in. So if that's the case with the Z06 with oil, that's a big deal, you know?
Just
yeah, it is. It's definitely
a two-part question for you. Going into purchasing the car and taking possession of it, was there anything, since you've owned it now and you've got all the miles on it, that surprised you about the car? Like, what's the number one thing you're like, dang, I didn't realize it was going to be this? And then to the opposite, is there anything that wasn't up to your expectation, where like, I really thought it was going to be this, but it doesn't perform, or it could be anything. It could be the seating position, the braking. I mean, is there anything that surprised you to the upside and also to the downside?
The only upsetting thing about the car, actually, no. Okay, there's one upsetting thing, and then there's one thing that's like, I feel sorry for people who are going to have an issue with this. I'm going to start off with the second one. The thing that I feel sorry for people about is if you are not a very mobile or somewhat athletic or whatever person, it's going to be a little bit difficult getting in and out of this car. It just is.
Sure.
Even for me, I'm like, it's every time I'm like, holy crap. Like, I'm happy I'm healthy, you know? Yeah, so it's a little tough. I don't know why, but the side is just way longer than what I'm used to. And maybe it's like that with the normal C8 too. I don't know if it's just because of the weight of this car. I don't know, but that's annoying. But the other thing that's a little bit upsetting is the carbon ceramic brakes. For all those people who think it's cool to go get the Z07, great, go get the Z07, do your thing. But if you're not ready for massive brake squeal on the Z07, then don't do it. Get the steel brakes. I promise you, they still look cool. You'll still be cool. Nobody's going to be like, oh, you don't have the carbon ceramic brakes. Anybody who says that, tell them to eat it, stuff it, because you know the carbon ceramic brakes look good. There's no brake dust. They work really, really well. But my only complaint about them is the squeal. They squeal and they squeal and they squeal. And I didn't hear them squeal at all for the first 1,500 miles or so. And then it wasn't until actually, Mike, when we went to the road course after that, that's when I first started hearing the squeal. They started working really well, but they also started squealing like crazy. And when I say squeal like crazy, I'm not saying like a little minor squeal like any kind of race car or whatever. I'm talking about like the squeal that if someone's standing outside, they are going to look at you angrily.
So that's interesting, because you do have the Z07 on your C7, right?
Yeah, so I have the carbon ceramic brakes on my C7 Z06, and I never had that issue. Now, I don't know if I was a second or third owner on that car, I can't remember. And who knows how the first owner drove. When I bought that car, it had 11,000 miles on it, so it wasn't driven that much. So who knows how it was driven, but I never got the squeal. But then again, I never took it to a road course either. I only drag raced with it, but I've never had the squeal on it. So I think it's just how the brakes get bedded in. Like if they don't get bedded in the best way. And the mistake we made when we went to that road course was we did those laps and then we immediately came to a stop and put it in park, which was the worst idea ever. And like, I should have thought about it at that time, and I didn't, because we were just all like super excited for driving on the road course for the first time. And we shouldn't have done that. We should have ran it, and then we should have taken some cool down laps for like 15 minutes.
Sure, sure. Yeah, that's interesting though, because in my C7 Z06, that was a Z07, I did road course it 3 different times. And what I found was after about a week of brake dust building up, my brakes would start squeaking. But when I would wash my car and I would clean in there real well and get all that out, they wouldn't squeak for usually a whole week or longer. But then
Yeah,
once
when
they
I
started
washed it, that
squeaking,
happens too as well.
yeah, once they started squeaking, they definitely were loud.
Yeah. So one thing you can also do too is you can go find an open area, safe area. They say like accelerate up to 80 miles per hour, then get on the brakes till they're almost basically locked until you're at 30 miles per hour, then accelerate again to 80 miles per hour and do that over and over and over for like 8 to 10 times. And then from there, drive around maybe 60, 70 miles per hour and let them cool down. Don't come to a stop. You do that, which I tried that once. It works. I think I went a couple weeks, 2, 3 weeks without any squeal at all after that. And it was
Oh,
great.
nice.
And then eventually it came back again.
You have any more questions?
No, but I mean, I guess furthermore on the brake question, would you, if you were to do it over again, would you go to the steel brakes and not do the carbon ceramics?
Um, I like I'm leaning towards yes, I would probably go steel brakes. In fact, I think originally I wanted to go steel brakes because these carbon ceramics are really expensive. So I don't know why I put them on my order when I did, but I did, and I didn't realize it. So when I got the car, I actually looked at the car. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize all these came standard with carbon ceramic brakes. Because at that time in my mind, I'm like, why would I get carbon ceramic brakes? I don't even need them, you know. So I must have did it like when I was talking to my guy, or maybe we weren't on the same page, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, he'll probably want these." Yeah,
Well, and I don't know if you've seen, but Austin, Speed Phenom, he actually is switching to metal brake, iron
steel
or
brakes.
whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
Steel,
they are,
yeah.
steel brakes. Yeah, he's
Uh-huh.
switching to steel brakes because he's under the impression that he's going to go through the carbon ceramics very quickly, and he went to his local Chevy dealership, and they quoted him $20,000 to put new brakes on, which blows my mind because from GM they're only what 9,000 or less
Yeah,
than
it's
that,
crazy. I think it was like
8,200.
9,000 or something like that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can what I did with my C7 Z06 when I went to a 15-inch conversion on the rear, you can sell these carbon ceramic brakes for a decent amount. I mean, my
Oh, I'm
car
sure.
at that time had like maybe 15,000 miles on it at the time. My C7 Z06, I sold the rear brakes for like 2,500 bucks, and they were like all
Wow.
the way used. They weren't new, all the way used, and someone still bought them for 2,500 bucks. So I can only imagine these ones right here on this car. People will probably buy them damn near full price.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure. So yeah, the only problem though, and he addressed this, is the unsprung weight that you lose from having those, and then you gain it back with the steel brakes. And he has the carbon fiber wheels for the road course, so he has a lot of unsprung weight. So it would kind of suck for him to gain weight there, but he's going to go.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So yes, yeah, you still the unsprung, yeah, all that stuff, yeah, that does make sense, and yeah, it will hurt performance a little bit, but you don't see that unless you are getting everything out of the car. Like you got to be at a very, very high level of driving to be able to really see that difference. Like he's not going to go to the track and all of a sudden fall off 2 seconds for a
Right,
lap or something like that. It's
right.
just not going to happen. Like you got to, that's going basically somebody who's like highly, highly, highly like elite driver kind of deal. Like they're going to see come off their time, but not like it's not going to affect them the way he thinks it's going to affect them.
Right. All right. Well, I'm sure you're still seeing the comments rolling in.
Yeah, somebody asked something about. I saw a question and
Neighbor Mark says
I
he's
meant
going to have
to
to convert to
answer
drum
it.
I saw that.
brakes.
Drum brakes. Oh yeah. Somebody asked a question. Oh, on the carbon ceramic brakes again. Somebody said something about how they got to push down on them really hard for them to work. That's only because you haven't bedded them in
Right.
properly. So you
That's
have
correct.
to bed them in properly. So once again, when we went to the road course, we bedded them in. We just didn't let them cool down the way we're supposed to let them cool down. But after bedding it in, they worked really, really. I mean, they worked scary well. Like freak myself out sometimes when I touch the brake. I'm like, holy crap. So if you're having a hard time getting anything out of them, like they just feel like they don't work, it's because you haven't properly bedded them in. Now, you also are at a point too where yours aren't going to squeal like that. So what do you want? You want them to really, really, really work well, and you're going to start getting the squeal, or you could just manage what you got, and you're going to look cool. It's going to be lightweight, and you're not going to get the squeal.
Yeah, I know mine. When I bought my C7Z, it had 3,400 miles on it, and they were already bedded, and they were ridiculous. I mean, you could throw your passenger through the windshield really easy. They were touchy. So.
Oh yeah.
But. Well, again, you know, I don't want to keep you if you need to get going. I know you're catching a red-eye flight. But
I gotta get rolling here in a moment. But yeah, no, it was good jumping on here. Thank you for having me. Everybody in the comments asking questions and stuff. Thanks for the questions. Hopefully, we're able to answer a lot of them. And once again, if you have any additional questions about the C8 Z06, reach out to me. I don't know if there's a DM way on YouTube, but you can DM me on Instagram, and I'll answer them as quick as I can. But I'm here to help. Once again, I can't sit here and say I have a lot of information on like a C8 Stingray because I've never owned one. I've driven one on track. That's about it. So if there's anything specific to that, I'm not the one to be able to help too much on that. I can help on some stuff, but not a lot. But C8 Z06, I can give you whatever information I've learned about the car. Once again, I got a lot of miles on it now. I drive it all the time, damn near every day. I've been on multiple trips. I drove it from North Carolina to California, so I can tell you about how it is on a road trip. I've done everything with this car so far. So, and I'll keep doing more. In fact, I'm going to mess around with a few things here pretty soon that's going to be interesting for people to see. You can figure. I think I got some ways to increase the power on this car without modifying it at all. There is a way, and I learned about it, and I'm going to apply my learnings.
Well, that's awesome, man. And yeah, make sure you guys go to YouTube. It's just Jesse Iwuji Racing. Click on that. Give him a subscribe and hit the bell notification, and then it's at Jesse Iwuji on Instagram, and probably everything else. I know it is on Twitter, probably Facebook as well. So yeah, follow him on all of those. You got to
let Jesse plug his new merchandise. I saw he's got new racing shirts that look pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, JesseIwuji.com. Actually, JesseIwujiMotorsports.com. Should probably write that in the.
And we'll bring it up real quick so that you guys can see it. Whoops. Oh, that was it right there.
So, Jesse, since we got you just for another minute with the circuit that you're about ready to start with NASCAR, what's your favorite track that you're going to race or race that you're going to do? What's the one that you look forward to it the most? Did you cut him off?
I don't know.
10. So.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that, Jesse. It
cut off. You're good.
So, what was your favorite track?
Daytona.
Oh, okay.
I'm running it this weekend. I love that place. Finished 11th last time I was there. Looking forward to besting that this weekend. So yeah, it should be a good one.
Awesome, and I love this merch.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is good stuff, man. Love it. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We really appreciate you making the time to join us on the Octane Hour. And I know all my fans love you. And then I know the guys over on the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum and also Corvette blogger Keith were real excited that I was having you on tonight. And they're going to put this video on both platforms, so people will get to see this video, pushed out there. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I have another one I'm launching here in the next few days, probably Sunday once I'm freed up from Daytona stuff. But it's going to be actually a video of my entire day and basically me talking through what I had to do, settings, struggles I was having throughout the day, traction, this and that. I mean, I talk after every run, I give a whole breakdown. So it's a longer video, but it's very informative on what you got to do to basically achieve your best times with the car. And once again, like I said earlier, you can take what I said and apply it to what you're doing. Just apply the concepts. Don't think that my exact setting for my best run is going to be your best settings for your best run.
Right.
This all depends on your combination, what the track prep is, what kind of tire you got, your DA, all these different things go into effect. So you really got to play around with your settings. You're not going to go out there and lap into your first pass, go just, light the world on fire. You got to figure out what's the best settings that work for you that day at that track with your car.
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. I can't wait to see your videos. He puts out really good content. So if you haven't seen any of his videos, definitely check them out. You're going to enjoy them for sure. So we're going to go back to kind of the beginning. We kind of skipped a little bit of the beginning to get you on right away and get the folks what they wanted to see. And so we are going to go back and talk about some things for the Brinkofspeed giveaways. And you guys have been seeing this whole entire time.
I'll see you later, guys.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Jesse. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can take these off now. All right. Can you guys still hear us good?
That was a first go with the light or the pad. That actually worked out pretty good.
Yeah, he just put a link in the comments there, so you guys should see that. Get this back up. All right, just making sure everything's good.
Well, for those that watched, if there's one thing they took away, the brake conversation, that was very interesting.
It was a great.
That was good insight on that for a lot of people.
He gave us great insight on everything with that car, and it's really cool that he has that many miles on it. I know Speed Phenom has, I think, quite a bit more miles than that now. I think he's close to 10,000.
Really?
Yeah. He's doing a lot with his car too, and I love it. But yeah, really, really cool to have him. Can't hear you all of a sudden. Maybe we need to unplug the headphones. Maybe that'll... You guys can't hear us? Sounds good to me, Everjeff says. Okay, good. I can hear you. I can hear you. All right,
okay,
great.
Good. Should we talk about our giveaway item here?
Yeah, so you guys have seen this the entire time. I can't believe I haven't seen a single comment about it yet. Maybe you have commented on it and I just haven't seen it. But it's brand new, and I'll let Darren tell you about it.
Yeah, so this is one of the viewers. He's just like a general hobbyist. This is something he does for fun. He makes these little clocks out of these pistons, and he's got a couple different themes. There's Corvette themes, there's sports teams themes. So we thought it would be cool. We'll do one of these, and we'll make it part of our monthly giveaway. So for anyone that's bought key tags and the super chats, you're already included in this drawing. This is just going to be a bonus perk, and we'll probably do this drawing in the next 3 weeks or so, maybe mid-March.
Yeah.
Mike knows we won't talk about it tonight, but we have another bigger item coming that'll be another monthly giveaway from our friend Daniel at Amador Design, which is going to be really cool. I think we both want one.
We both want one.
We both want one, but we're going to give one of those away. So these are just added benefits in addition to getting entered into the big giveaway. It's going to be the end of April for the wheels, the brakes, and the ACS parts. We're just going to include everyone that's already been in and continues to get into these bigger monthly drawings that we're going to start doing. So that's an added perk for those that have already gotten involved.
So just to reiterate, if you do any super chats, super stickers, Venmos, anything like that tonight, it goes towards that, but it also goes towards the main giveaway. So you're going to get entries for both. So pretty cool stuff.
Somebody asked me, since we've been talking brakes, I didn't see who it was, but asked me about my ceramic brake pads. And I would say that I'm very happy with them. I've had them now in the car for probably 800 miles. And you've seen my wheels. I have almost no brake dust.
Oh, his wheels are insane. I mean, they're always perfect.
It definitely helps. I actually did. It's funny because you were talking about the squealing. I had a little bit of that at first. Had probably the first 50 to 100 miles. It was kind of a little bit annoying. I'm like, and now it's pretty much gone away. So maybe that's some of my braking.
That's the carbon ceramic brakes, the pads.
I did do the braking as he talked about. I did do that.
And did that make it squeal, or did that get rid of it?
No, that's kind of when it started. But that was on day one of having the brake pads. I did the hard stops go, hard stop goes.
Thank you, General Lee, for the super chat. Appreciate it. That is 20 entries towards that and 20 entries towards the big giveaway. So thank you.
That would look good in his garage. He's got somewhere
to
put
that's going to look. Yeah, I mean,
put your hand up so you can get like the size proportion of it. Yeah, it's cool.
There you go. There's a great view of it. So what do you guys think about that?
Now, same conversation with the brakes. So multiple people have reached out to me. I was talking to our friend Derek today. He has the Power Stop brakes, I believe, the pads, and he's liking them as well. He's having similar type of performance. And I think Hawk makes a set. A couple guys have done those, and they say good things. Yeah. So there's a couple different brands out there.
And the cool thing is I'll be able to report to you very soon. I will have the R1 Concept full setup, which will be the same rotors as him, but then R1 Concept ceramic brakes, carbon ceramic brake pads. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, my car already does very low brake dust because it's not a Z51, but there's still some brake dust. So it'll be really cool to see how there's probably going to be like zero brake dust now.
Yeah. For anyone on here, if you have a Z51 car, you know what we're talking about. I know I saw Earl. I was going to joke, hey, Earl, we have a shirt that's your size that we can send you. It looks very similar to the one that I'm wearing.
Earl, thank you so much for the super chat. You are the man. That's 100 entries into both this, which it looks like it.
No, it's an actual piston. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a real piston.
Holy cow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So, 100 entries into that, and 100 more entries into the big giveaway. I think you have like 300 or 400 entries already into the big giveaway. So, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So that's it for the giveaway stuff. So speaking of giveaway, let's go ahead and give away a shirt.
Yeah, I was going to ask Jesse. I was going to tell him to text you how many miles were on his car, and then he kind of said it, and I was like, shoot, because I didn't know. I was thinking he's got to be somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000.
Well, we can do my mileage if that's. I mean, I just showed people my mileage when I went to the dealership, but it's changed a lot because I drove it home from the dealership. I drove it out last night. My wife and I took it out last night. And I drove it to Darren's. And I drove it to get food and back. So it's changed a lot.
Yeah. I have no idea how many miles are in your car now.
So why don't we do that? Let's go with how many miles are on my car now. If you watched my last video, it will help you guess that. But you want to show them the shirt real quick?
Yeah, it's a size large.
It's a large. We're about to have some more shirts with bigger sizes, so
including what I say, I got 3XL at least.
You got like 7 or 8 3XL.
I didn't go
shirts.
any bigger than 3XL.
No, you didn't go any bigger.
3XLs where we stopped out.
Yeah, we have some 3XLs. All right, people are. Oh, there's neighbor Mark with a nice little super chat. Thank you. Wait. You need some shirts for some of us that like to eat. Oh.
Who said that?
Jeff. We've got 3XLs now. We have 2XLs, 1XLs. So we got them all. But we're not introducing those shirts yet. Nobody's gotten close yet.
I don't even know.
Somebody got kind of close. Great White North is way off.
Yeah, he had an extra digit, so you need to go back in with a new number.
Yeah, he put 28,000 miles.
Not kilometers.
Right.
So if anybody has any advice for Mark and myself, we're new to going to the Ron Fellows School, and we're leaving tomorrow.
All right, I'm putting end. I got somebody that is almost dead on the money. My car is right at almost 2,600 miles. It was like 2,596, and we have track speed 815 at 2,594. That's close enough.
Winner.
So congratulations. I think he's a first-time viewer. Welcome.
Put in your email because he won't have it.
I'm going to put my email in here for you because I need you to email me your information, your address, so I can ship you this shirt out.
Yeah, so the three of us with a couple of our other friends, we're leaving tomorrow. We'll be in Vegas at the school Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
All right, so right there is my email. So again, congratulations. And yeah, Andrew said winner, winner, chicken dinner. Congratulations. So I hope you guys enjoyed having Jesse on. He reached out to me the other day and said, hey, we should do a Zoom video side by side where we talk about my latest drag racing. And I said, I can do you one better than that. We can get you on our live and you can, you know, be on Octane Hour with all of our great people. And that way they can ask you questions. And so that's what we set up for tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have to do more of this.
Yeah, it's fun. We'll actually start getting some of you guys on here too.
Yeah, that's the plan for sure.
The plan.
Today was, I guess, was a proof of concept.
Exactly. We had to try it out first.
And it was super smooth.
It was. It
That's
worked.
kind of being a little sarcastic, though. Before we I know. We user error.
We tested things out for literally almost 2 hours before we went live tonight because we had tested it out before, but it had been a while. So we just wanted to make sure everything went nice and smooth for you guys. So hopefully everything did and you enjoyed it. But yeah, I haven't even said this once yet, but if you're in here, you haven't smashed the thumbs up button, please do so. That really helps. And if you're brand new and you haven't joined the Brinkofspeed community, do me a favor and smash the red subscribe button and the bell. That way you're notified when these videos come out. We're live every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we maybe do a live while we're in Vegas. I don't know yet.
Why wouldn't we?
Depends on connection. What kind of connection we have out there. But I'm definitely going to be doing my best to get video every day on my cell phone. That way I don't have any editing to do, just like when I go to Carlisle. That way I can put out a video of both days, certain things that I liked about them. And then when I get back, I'll have, you know, footage from GoPros and my camcorder to edit, where you guys will get a little bit more in-depth footage from inside the cars and stuff like that. So we're really excited about it. Cannot wait to get there. This will be my second time. It's going to be fun. The instructors out there are so much fun just to talk to and hang out.
Yeah. Larry Anthony has great advice. Hopefully Mark is seeing it. He says basically listen to the instructors but don't be afraid to push your chosen car while out on the track. Mark, gas is on the right.
Yeah. Mark needs to make sure he has his listening ears turned on. Because if he does what they tell him to do,
he'll probably be the fastest time.
He'll actually have a quick time, and he'll actually have a bigger smile on his face than he would if he drove the car the way that he drives his other Corvette.
Right, and you don't have to worry about getting scratches on the front. It's not your car.
It's not your car. So
Wouldn't it be funny if he brought his Nova bra thing and put it on the car? I can see him doing that. Mark, don't leave that at home.
Yeah.
Don't bring it.
Leave your Nova stretch bra at home. That is not for the Ron Fellows cars. They won't appreciate that. That'll actually restrict air, you know? into the radiators. So, yes, I see it, Darren.
Does anybody have questions for Mike too? Because we didn't really talk about your last two videos. Because we got right into the Jesse conversation.
True.
It was interesting the issue you had with the rear camera, and really in the end it wasn't a big deal.
It wasn't a big deal. It was never going to be a real big deal, except for the fact that, Jesse said, go to the dealership early, make sure you order the oil because it could be 3 to 4 weeks. Well, the same thing could have happened if they needed to order a new video module. They said it could take a few weeks to get that video module in. So that would have sucked. It could be a real pain in someone's butt. So it was really nice when they figured out that they could just do a global reset. It fixed everything, and it made me very happy that fixed it. Because in my 2020, my rear view camera mirror messed up. They tried a couple of things. It didn't work. And then they ultimately had to buy a brand new camera and replace it.
Didn't you say when you very first got the car, you had a little glitch? And you thought,
I did. On the way home from the dealership with this brand new car, my screen went black. And I was like, oh, no, I'm having a black screen issue that I've seen online like crazy. And I could not get it to fix the whole way home. But when I got to a light close to my house, I turned my car off, turned it back on, and it fixed it. And it's never done it ever since. So, whatever that means, I don't know. But I know there's a lot of people out there that are unfortunately having the black screen plague, and it doesn't just go away. They have to get a brand new whatever it is in there to fix it. So, not good. But yeah, you guys starting Friday will be getting videos. I'm doing my best to get out one more video tomorrow of Trevor and I getting my car polished and looking phenomenal. So you guys will get to see the steps that he takes to do that, and it's really cool. So I should be able to get that out tomorrow, and then I should have a video on Friday and Saturday out from Ron Fellows that you guys can enjoy as well. But I think that's going to do it. I, again, thank everyone for joining us tonight. It's always a blast. And I hope each and every one of you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening.